All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Spitballz. We're back. Today, we're going to be talking about NFL, college football, maybe a little bit of Aaron Judge. What should we start with today?
Oh, I think I know what Frank wants to start with.
I always want to start with college football. It's the most electric sport
Big
in
league.
existence.
Big league.
There's something else I want to start with. I want to there's been 3 episodes in our new season of Spitballz. So we've all made 3 spitball takes. One of mine has come true. The other 2 still could possibly come true.
All right. Well,
so basically, I'm the GOAT.
One of mine was not really
Let's hear them. What were the takes?
The 2 that still could come true is 49ers don't lose again for the rest of the season, because they haven't since I said that. And NFC East all make the playoffs. They're all currently in the playoffs. The one that did come true is the South Carolina Gamecocks beat the shit out of the Clemson Tigers.
One of mine still could come true. The Bucks could still make the NFC Championship. And my other one was that soccer sucks, and that's just an opinion.
That's a valid opinion,
I just wanted to point that out. We can talk about whatever you want now.
What I want to point out is that Frank and Greg call themselves the college football experts, right? No, we posted this.
I backed it up. I proved it.
And Frank did prove he's an expert, but I got 4 right. Greg got 3 right. So I think me and Frank should now be considered the college football experts.
All right. So do you want to have a 30-minute discourse now on college football with me?
No, Greg can still do that. I just want to be recognized that I'm smarter than Greg.
We'll do it again. We'll do it again for
the only pick I got wrong was when I followed Greg's advice.
We'll do it again for the conference championships.
All the conference championships, right?
Okay.
5 or 6 games.
They will be posted on the Instagram.
At the end of our college football discussion, we're gonna predict the 5 conference championships.
No, I think we should take some time to think about it and put it on the Instagram. Exclusive Instagram content.
No, I think we should discuss it too, because I have some things that I want to say. All right, should we start with college football?
Yeah.
Sure.
Start championship weekend.
Do you want to do that first? You wanted to go over how DJ Ukulele is the worst quarterback in the country. JJ McCarthy walked into CJ Stroud's house and outplayed him.
Also,
what else?
JMU is the beast of the East, Sunbelt East winners.
Well, why it's so bullshit that
I don't understand. I understand that you can't play in a bowl game because all your games out of conference are all still ass FBS teams. But when you're playing in conference, you're playing the same teams as everyone else, and you won more games. Why can't you play in the championship against the same competition?
It's kind of bullshit. It's kind of. I feel bad for you as a JMU student. I feel bad that you can't win a conference championship.
You just got robbed.
Some other students in this podcast are actually going to be experiencing possibly a Rose Bowl game in Pasadena.
Okay, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that because Greg's an Ohio State fan too.
Right.
Let's say TCU and USC both
or USC
win.
Loses.
Wait.
Take again in.
Stop.
If TCU wins, if TCU loses, they should stay in my opinion.
Let's say TCU and USC both win, which means that they would both make the playoff. So we know the 4 playoff teams. The Rose Bowl would then, by nature, be Utah versus Ohio State. But that's what it was last year. So would they do that again?
And they have the ability to change it up, right?
They do.
They
could put
Penn
State in it. They could put Oregon in it. They could put Washington in it.
Yeah.
I think they wanted to. But the two best teams.
Rose Bowl last year.
It was. But the 2 best teams would be Ohio State and Utah. That would be available for it. I don't know if they would do that again. Greg, what's your opinion on that?
That would be. I mean, why not? It's not. I mean, I get Ohio State plays in the Rose Bowl a lot. They have 3 Rose Bowl appearances in the last 5 years, something like that. But
last time Penn State was in it, they were playing USC and it was a banger. Sam Darnold threw like 5 touchdowns. I remember that game.
It's just
And
weird
that's
how
why
Sam
the
they
Jets
Darnold.
like
won.
how
That's
they
why the
always
Jets couldn't.
choose like a Big Ten and Pac-12 team playing the Rose Bowl. They should switch it up a bit.
And Tess, as a Penn State fan, would you rather say a Rose Bowl against Utah or an Orange Bowl against Alabama?
Orange.
Dude, I'd probably.
Orange
I mean,
Bowl
what
is
our
sick.
odds of beating Utah are definitely higher than beating Alabama,
Probably.
considering Alabama's Alabama. But in terms of hype, I think Penn State Alabama would just be crazy. I mean, the Orange Bowl definitely doesn't have as much, name,
Tradition.
like hype tradition around the name. But
The Orange
seeing
Bowl's
them
in
in-
Florida, right?
yeah,
So you could hypothetically go to that if you wanted to.
No, Tess is not going to Florida.
Why not?
Fly to
It
Cali
would
for
be
the-
when it would
for
be
the
during
Rose
winter
Bowl.
break.
Person Tess is not going to
It would be during winter
because
break.
his father.
No, but I say if they want a bowl game win, they should ideally go for the Rose Bowl.
I feel like
If
a
you
Rose
want
Bowl
the Rose
trophy
Bowl,
means more too.
it does. It does.
Like, you win the Rose
And last
Bowl.
time they lost, so last time they lost, I believe.
It was a hard game though.
Oh,
Since they won't let my school in bowl season, I'm actually boycotting bowl season altogether.
See, like those bowl
There.
games are like the Rose Bowl, the Orange Bowl, like cool bowl games that like actually like I want.
Hey. don't disrespect the Duke's
Like-
Mayo Bowl.
People say
Okay.
like, oh, like college football, the bowl games don't matter, but if Penn State wins the Rose Bowl, they won the Rose Bowl. Like that's pretty cool. So that's
Yeah.
exciting.
Nice participation trophy.
I would like to say also it's bullshit that Alabama's ranked higher than Tennessee right now.
I don't know.
Especially after South Carolina beat Clemson, it makes the South Carolina loss look
Dude,
a little bit better.
They beat them by
They beat them head to head.
They beat them by a game-winning field goal in Tennessee, and look at their common opponent.
All right. Tennessee's 2 losses are to number 1 Georgia and number 19 South Carolina. Alabama's 2 losses are to number 7 Tennessee and number 14 LSU. That's pretty similar. Tennessee has the head-to-head. Tennessee has the harder schedule. Tennessee has the better wins. Alabama's best win is like unranked Ole Miss.
Who lost to Georgia by more?
It's all about lately.
Bama didn't play Georgia.
Do they have any common opponents?
LSU, who Tennessee beat the shit out of, and they beat Bama.
Yeah, but that was like early in the season. No one beat
I don't know. I like if they Oregon State beat Oregon, they're 1 spot ahead of them. Fucking Mississippi
but
State beat
then
Ole
shouldn't
Miss,
South
they're ahead of
Carolina-
them.
South Carolina would have to be ahead of Clemson.
All right, I think South Carolina. All right, I know I texted you guys yesterday about it. I think that everyone from 21 down, which is Notre Dame down, is better than Clemson. Clemson lost to Notre Dame. They lost to South Carolina. They have beat nobody good. They look like shit. They are not good. Whoever they play in a bowl game is going to embarrass them. They're going to get embarrassed by UNC this weekend.
You know, I saw a TikTok the other
I
day.
don't know about that.
I saw a TikTok saying that the college football playoff should adopt a quadrant system like college basketball, and I agree with that. I think that would make
sent that to me.
I think that would make ranking teams a lot
All right.
easier.
Let's
less
say that they
subjective.
did do that.
I think that would
Clemson
make
has-
it less subjective.
Clemson has 0 quadrant 1 wins. Their 2 losses, not
The
great
guy-
losses.
the guy
They're both
also
unranked
said-
at the time.
The guy also said that the rankings right now don't matter, and they should just have one selection show, which I also agree with.
They do the rankings now for ratings. We all know that.
They still have the AP for it.
If
Why
you get
can't they
people
just-
excited.
They're still going to be
it's
ranking.
I think that the rankings 1 week, like I think there should be 3 rankings: 1 before rivalry week, 1 before conference championship week, and the final ones, so that the teams know what they have to do in order to be one of
Right.
the final 4 teams.
It gives them like a baseline, so they
Like
know
if you don't know
why
where you
each
stand
team's getting
before
ranked,
the
yeah.
end of the season, like in the NFL, you have the standings. You know what you have to do in order to make
That's
the playoffs.
a fair point.
If
I
you
can- I
don't
can
know
see
where
that.
you stand before the end of the season, you're basically because it's completely different voters. So the
I
AP
still do
voters
see
could think
that.
you're
I
good,
know,
and the playoff voters could not give a fuck about you.
but it's still just very subjective.
Yeah, it's subjective, but Greg's gone. Oh, he's back. What the fuck?
I don't know, my internet went out.
Came back there.
But I really like the playoff this year.
Yeah, it should be.
In last
Okay.
season, in Spitballz, one of your hot takes was that Georgia and Alabama are both not going to be in the college football playoff.
Oh yeah, you got that wrong.
One of them,
I think-
it looks like
But
you're going to get surprised.
Everyone thought
right.
Bama was the favorite and not Georgia.
Yeah.
So I was
You
right
didn't
about
say
that.
I mean, hey, Bama can still make it.
Dude,
No, that's what
I don't think they can.
that's what I wanted to ask you guys.
If they were to make it, that would be a disgrace.
If USC were to lose, who gets in?
Ohio State.
Yeah, what if USC and TCU?
I think TCU
Then,
should stay no
okay.
matter what. Personally,
I do think that too, but
I think as long as USC loses, TCU clinches it. I think
no,
if TCU
I think. Wait,
if
what?
TCU loses but USC
Oh, no.
wins,
I
then I could see USC
being.
being 3, Ohio State being 4.
Yeah, I mean,
But if
USC
they
has
both-
a loss too, right?
It's
Yeah,
hard to
yeah.
penalize a team for going undefeated and making a conference championship. Because Ohio State doesn't have to play a conference championship game. It's hard to penalize them
Ohio
for
State,
that.
yeah,
But
but like
it's hard to. They went undefeated. They're playing not. It's not like they're playing some like random team. They're playing who are they playing?
Kansas State, who's
They're ranked,
good.
right? Yeah.
They're 11,
Like-
I think.
It's not gonna unless they get blown out by like 30. I think they're safe.
But what if they do get blown out and USC wins? Think about
I mean,
Ohio State for a second.
They,
Ohio
they
State,
Both, they both got blown
realistically-
out at home. Then
realistically, the game against Michigan for Ohio State was closer than the final score said it was. It was a close game for like 3.5 quarters of that game. It was a close game. Ohio State has double-digit wins over Notre Dame. who
TCU has a harder
beaten
strength of
some
schedule.
of the
I'm
best
pretty sure.
teams. They do, but
And
Ohio
it's
State
just
has
it's just
double-digit wins.
is it fair to
those
penalize them
teams.
for playing an extra game?
Double and over Penn State too, and their one loss is to the second best team in the country. TCU hasn't played anyone as good as Michigan. There's
I still
like,
believe though, if you're undefeated, you should still.
if they go undefeated,
I mean,
they're
there's-
No, no,
there's-
no. This
If
is
they-
the
if
thing.
honestly,
lose a
if they win
close
the
game,
conference
too,
championship, they'll get in.
they should be there.
Like USC
But if
is just
USC
different because
wins-
USC has a loss.
If USC wins and TCU gets blown out, I think Ohio State should get in. I think it should be USC 3, Ohio State 4.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I
If
think
TCU loses a
if
close
both-
game,
if
then
both
you can say
If both TCU and USC losses at Bama and Ohio State or Ohio State and TCU.
no. I don't think a 2-loss Bama is going to get in. I really don't.
Like,
I think
Okay.
that's why I said if
Georgia loses in the championship game, how is that different than TCU losing in the championship game or Michigan? They're all undefeated going into their championship games. And TCU has a harder
this is
strength of
where
schedule.
this is the part where you don't
Georgia
like,
and
where the
Michigan
eye
both
test
have
comes in.
wins over the number 2 team in the country at the time.
That's true too. Michigan and Georgia have both proven that they can beat like TCU might have the overall hardest strength of schedule, but Georgia and Michigan have proven that they can beat the fuck out of here. I don't know who that was, but I just told them to get the fuck out. Georgia and Michigan have both proven that they can beat a playoff caliber team, and TCU hasn't played anyone that good. Like really, they haven't.
Do you really think they will not your opinion, do you think they will take TCU out if they lose?
If you okay, again, like I said, I think if USC loses,
No, if USC wins, TCU loses. Do you think not your opinion, do you think they do take him out? Take them out.
they probably
I don't
split
think
them.
they can. Yeah, I don't think they can.
Because I think winning the Pac-12, winning the Pac-12 is vastly more impressive than winning the Big 12 this year. So they'll probably flip them.
Well, no, that yeah.
But they probably
And-
won't. But like if USC loses, Ohio State's gonna take their spot.
Okay, this is a weird question. If Michigan and Ohio State played week 1, would you have the same outcome? Would you have Ohio State over USC right now? Because I think they would be over it. It's just recency, and
Yeah,
that's
which
why
is why I
mean,
think
it's
That's
tough.
why I think it's
I think
an
Is USC really the better football team than Ohio State?
no.
like that's
They're not.
exactly.
I
But
think
because of recency, like recency bias, that's how the
I think
rankings work.
what the Big Ten is going to do in the near future because of this season is they have to get rid of divisions, because if Michigan Ohio State played again this week and
Or that,
Michigan
yeah.
won again, then
Then
you
it's-
say
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Ohio
Or
State
you could
doesn't deserve
realign
it.
them. They might
But-
realign them.
If Michigan and Ohio State
No,
played
'cause then
again,
you can't
and then
realign them,
Ohio
'cause then
State
you
won.
lose the game every year.
What's the bird say? What's the bird say?
then they both make it. You know,
Yeah,
I mean, when does the new playoff? Is
that's
that a
what
thing?
I just don't like. That
2026?
it's very recent. Like the rankings are very recent, recency bias, and like
To the last week.
That's
Yeah.
the way it
you know
should
what I mean. So I'm saying like they both. If you're comparing their schedules blindly, not knowing when the losses happen, I think Ohio State's over USC, and that's why I
Well,
think they need a new system.
I think if you get rid of what week they happen, I don't know, because Ohio State or USC in overall in the plays in a better conference. So like they beat UCLA, they
But
beat
that's
Oregon.
that's what I'm talking
right?
about with TCU, and that's the same
Yeah,
argument.
but I'm
Ohio
saying
State
like
plays better top teams, but overall,
no, but like the Pac-12 is arguably the second best conference.
I
in
think the
country
Big
this
Ten is
year
still the second
after
best
the
conference.
SEC. I don't.
The Big
Because
Ten
like
does have they have Penn State this year.
you have the best.
You have
like,
three
out of-
very good teams.
You take the top three from each conference, and it's SEC, and then it's Big Ten,
Yeah.
probably. Actually, you could even make an argument for Big Ten, then SEC. But after that, this year, every other team in the Big Ten sucks.
Even in the West.
Michigan's playing Purdue next
Yeah.
this week. Steve's back.
The thing is, though, if TCU wins their championship game, they're 100% getting in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
They're in the playoffs no
Jeez,
matter what.
100%.
They
Oh wait,
should
no, I
be.
think you meant Michigan. I think you said Michigan.
Georgia's in the playoffs no matter what. Michigan's in the playoffs no matter what. It would take a lot for TCU not to make it. I'd say 95% chance TCU makes it.
I'd say none. I really don't see a way they take.
I give USC like
If they lose their championship game, you think they get it?
55% chance, and I give Ohio State like a 45% chance.
What if Bama and Michigan or Georgia and Michigan lose? And like neither the Big Ten or SEC champ is in the playoff.
If
You're
Georgia
number
and
one.
Michigan both lose, then they both go down one spot, and TCU goes to one. I
TCU
think.
number one.
Yeah,
No
and then I
problem.
have to watch Georgia beat the piss out of Michigan for a second straight year.
What if every
That would
top
suck.
4 team loses this weekend?
I think it's just Ohio State jumps up. I think that's it.
Yeah, Ohio State jumps USC, and that's it. Dude, there's no like. If by some miracle a 2-loss Bama makes the playoffs, I'm never watching college football again. Like that would make me so mad.
If they do, we're coming back to
Considering-
this tape, and you're not allowed.
Considering
to watch
they're not
college
even the best 2-loss
football. They
team
won't.
in the country.
They won't get in there. Who is?
I know. Tennessee. You could even make an argument for Penn State over them. Like honestly, Penn State's lost to the second best team in the country and the team that just
The
lost to the
fifth best
second
team in
best
the
team in the country.
Yeah.
Like you could even make an argument for Penn State over Bama and Tennessee because
Penn State's
Bama
not making
lost.
the playoffs, bro.
no,
That
neither of
seems
them are.
very close to being Ohio
I
State.
mean, we've won the games we were supposed to win, so
Yeah, but you didn't win the games that would put you in the playoff conversation.
No one
Yeah,
after
those are
number
actually two
5
very
should
tough
should.
games.
No one after number 5 is in the conversation anymore. There's 5 teams left for 4 spots. That's it.
What if
We should come
Michigan
back
loses
to this.
And you're
when
welcome.
makes it. We should come
What
back
We're
to
beating Clemson, so we don't have to worry about them.
What if Michigan loses by 70?
To Purdue.
I
I don't
think
think
what
Purdue
if,
put
are
up
they-
70 points all season.
Are they knocked 70 to nothing? Are they knocked out?
If Purdue lost to Penn State, and now they're playing the Big Ten
that was
championship.
that was like a shootout game though.
Yeah, that was a good. That was like week. Was that
That was
week
week
2
one.
or week 1?
That was week 1.
It was week. Okay.
Like everyone wins. Michigan loses by 70. Did I get knocked out? Like 70 to nothing. They don't get a first down.
Yeah, Michigan loses
They
by
don't get a first down against Purdue. They just beat
Yeah.
Ohio State by 20, but they don't get a first down against
Yeah.
Purdue. Sure.
Like, low
If
key,
that
yeah.
happens, Sal,
I actually think they probably wouldn't get in.
they probably what?
They probably wouldn't get in.
Probably not. If they lost by 70 to
Yeah.
Purdue, they'd have to put Purdue in.
Yeah.
Purdue would
They
make
would
the
not put
No,
playoffs.
they probably put Purdue at like
If
15.
Purdue
in the
beat
conversation.
Michigan by 70 in the Big
They
Ten
put Purdue at like
championship,
15.
They couldn't
Yeah.
put Purdue in the.
I actually love this question. What do you do if Purdue beats Michigan by 70
There's
in the
no
Big
way
Ten
in the playoffs.
championship?
They would not be in the
That would be
playoffs.
electric.
Penn State
Ohio
gets in the
State-
playoffs
Ohio
because
State
Penn
would
State
get
beat
in.
Purdue.
Yeah. Okay. I think we've talked all the college football we can.
That'd be a crazy game.
Look at Steve's legs.
Legs.
Can we bridge before we talk about more football and talk about Aaron Judge?
Sure.
What about Aaron Judge? I screamed at you last week about Aaron Judge, though.
Well, okay, so Greg thinks 300 million is not enough. The contract right now, 300
Especially,
million
bro,
for
Garrett
8
Cole
years.
makes more than that.
Yes, but he's also a pitcher. This makes him the highest paid
Highest
position
paid
player
position
of all
player.
time. How is that not enough? 37.5 million a year for 8 years, going into year 38. 30,
I
38 or
think he did just
39.
win the MVP.
Okay, but you're paying
Do we know what his
$37
last
million
offer
a
was?
year.
Because didn't they
He's-
offer him a contract last season?
That was like 200 something. That was a joke. He's
I
gonna.
don't know.
He's gonna
It
be
could.
30.
You could
he's
argue.
gonna
You
be.
could definitely argue that the
Right,
money
right.
could be higher.
He's gonna be 38 at the end of the deal. Where is he getting this kind of deal?
Well,
Like, who's-
yeah, the
who's
deal,
giving him a
the
ninth
deal
or
is
10th?
usually the first 5 years are like we actually.
But no one's giving him a 9th or 10th year
Dude,
at this money.
if
I feel like the team's
if I'm the Yankees, I'm the richest organization in baseball.
All right, you
If
can't
I
just
can
throw. You can't just throw
You
away
absolutely
money.
can.
No,
If
you
I can
definitely
get
cannot
5
throw away
years
money.
of
'Cause then
MVP
you're-
level
No,
production,
but
and
then
then I
you're
have
also
to pay him
you're
for
also
another
risking
5
the
years
rest of your roster.
Exactly.
above average production,
That's fine, but the cap
Fine.
hit for per year
Fine with
is
that.
just way too much.
I mean, I don't think it's the years
And
that
you
he
act
wants on the
like-
contract. It's
like
the per year
baseball,
money.
baseball, you could play like a lot until you're old.
yeah, he could play
feel-
into his 40th,
Okay, but he's not gonna be
41st year of his
Like
life.
it's not like football. Like,
How often? Okay, first of all,
Too
he gets
great.
hurt a lot. He's giant. How often do people really play into their 40s? There's like what, 3 guys?
I mean, if you're
Pujols is a pretty big guy.
if you're an Aaron Judge level baseball player, you play deep into your 30s.
It's not necessarily
Like
true.
look at guys like Pujols, like
yeah,
legend
there's like
of the game.
there's like 4 of them.
Aaron Judge is on that track.
Like I
He's
don't
gonna
think
be
Mike
one of the
Trout's.
4.
I don't think Mike Trout's gonna play in his 40s.
I really
Well,
like.
Mike Trout has gotten injured way more than Aaron
I'm not
Judge
even
has.
sure at this point if it's I
8
think
years is a lot. Like it's a lot for what he's asking, and
I
he's getting
think it's-
$300 million.
he just wants to see what his options are
I
at the
understand.
moment.
I understand him not accepting it right now, but I think that's definitely a big enough contract. I mean, you could go a little bigger if there's more negotiations, but I don't think that's like a bad offer.
well, I mean,
I think
Well,
letting
other
him
people
walk,
are gonna
letting
make
him
it.
walk would be one of the
Letting
biggest
him off
mistakes
would be
that
the
they could
biggest
make.
mistake. Yeah,
So I think you should offer him more money to make
both
it a
of them.
guarantee.
Both of them would
Don't
print
let him
money
even
if
consider.
they sign this deal. Judge with like endorsements and shit in New York, and the Yankees just selling Judge stuff.
Don't
Like,
even
both
let
of
him
them will
consider
benefit.
San Francisco. I say you offer him a contract that he simply cannot turn down because
You
he's
can't
definitely
just
going to have
you
to
can't
think
just
about it.
you can't just
Going
throw
home
away
to San
money.
Francisco. I don't think it's throwing away money.
You have to
he's
play the
probably
business
best,
part and offer
the
like a
best
fair
player
deal.
in the major league.
So would you not pay any amount of money for
I
him
would,
to
but
hit 63 home runs
can't
next
just,
season?
you can't just throw that out right away. Like there's got to be some sort of negotiation and
You're
smart
not throwing it
baseball
out though.
management, like smart salary cap management.
You're giving it to the best player in the game. You have the best player in the game, and the risk is letting him walk this offseason. I say you give him
I
as
think-
much as
think-
it takes.
As a first offer that's like public, I think this is a good offer
I don't think anyone's disagreeing with you.
for the
Yeah,
Yankees.
it's a good offer, but I
feel
think
like
it
they never
definitely could be
released,
higher.
the details of the offer.
Yeah, I don't know how that got released, but it was. I'm pretty sure it's passing, so like, it's pretty reliable.
Honestly, I think they're gonna get a deal done. I think he's gonna be a Yankee next year.
Yeah, I mean, all the reports-
definitely,
all the
he
reports are
definitely
saying
wants
that
to get
he-
it done soon.
He resigns, so I mean,
Who signs first though? Judge or
I
Odell?
I can't see
Or
him
Odell?
leaving.
Dude,
I can't see him
what the
leaving.
fuck happened to Odell?
Yeah,
I don't think
falling
I
in
I
and
don't think
out of
that's a big story.
consciousness
Just people care.
on the airplane.
I haven't
Can
really.
we talk about that?
Yeah,
What
someone
did he go
explain to me
on?
what exactly happened.
Okay, so they said he was like being incooperative and like I think like ill or like something's wrong with him, so they kicked him off the plane. He said his agent said he got on the plane, fell asleep. They they took the plane out to like the runway and his seatbelt wasn't on. And they told him so while he was sleeping, his seatbelt wasn't on. So they brought him back to the gate and told him he has to leave because he didn't put his seatbelt on. And he was like, "Oh, I was sleeping," and they just like, "No, you have to get off."
Oh,
That's what
okay.
that's what his
Not
agent said.
Do we
I
believe
thought he
that?
was,
though?
like-
It's not like
I don't
big
know if that
story.
would happen.
I thought
I mean,
I was
I
under
don't
the
know if that's
impression
exactly
he
how it
got on
happened.
the plane hammered and was
But
like
yeah,
He was
No,
either
disruptive.
he
there's
was
no
either
like charges
high
or anything.
or he was on some sort of
There's
drug.
no charges or anything. I don't think there's that big of a deal.
Oh,
It's just
okay.
that it's Odell.
All right. Should we go to NFL now?
Giants are collapsing in front of our eyes.
Dude, I'm so excited for Sunday.
I know.
The Commies and Giants are going to play a meaningful
this is the biggest
football
game in
game in the
Giants
month of
history in
December.
a while. It's also the biggest game in Commies history in a while.
Greg, dude, it's so funny. Greg just keeps disappearing. Yeah. We also play the 49ers on Christmas Eve, which is going to be a very big game too.
You're not winning that, bro.
Trap game.
They're not winning. They're not losing another game.
I know, I said that, but if they're going to lose a game, who knows?
If the Giants want to make the playoffs, they have to beat the Commies once, and then they have to beat the Colts, and then they have to find another win somewhere. They need.
Are you a little scared that they're not going to beat the Commies at all?
I think they'll beat the Commies once.
I
That's
will
not what I'm
say,
scared about. They should beat the Colts. If they can't beat the Colts, they don't deserve to go to the
I will
playoffs.
say,
Right.
and
And then
I never thought this sentence would leave my mouth, but I'm a little scared of Daniel Jones.
He just owns the Commanders.
After watching how we played against Marcus Mariota, we struggled like a lot to stop Marcus Mariota.
He's definitely not a quarterback that scares you, but I don't think he's a quarterback you look forward to just like.
Well,
Like
we are not good against mobile quarterbacks, like at all.
We're not
Except
good.
for Jalen Hurts, who is terrible.
We just
and we
haven't
beat
been
the fuck
good
out of.
in
I
a
think
couple weeks.
I think
We've
the
lost 3 or
Giants,
4.
the Giants could take one of the Commanders' games.
Like I don't want
They
to
will-
I don't want to blame the injuries, but we just got like pummeled by injuries, and it's showing on the offense.
I think that the Giants will take one of the Commanders' games. They will definitely beat the Colts, and then the last game against the Eagles, it's going to be like it's going to be like a 15-win Eagles team. It's going to be resting everybody. I think they win that game.
Well, they have 2 against the Eagles and 1
I think
against the Vikings.
they'll get in at 10-7, I believe.
And 2 against the Eagles and 1 against the Vikings.
Like that, you have to find a way to win
They're
one of those
7-4
games,
right now.
You're very
They have
lucky that
two
the Colts
Eagles,
game is
2
not
Commanders,
the last
and then
week of
Vikings
the season.
and Colts.
All right, so best case scenario, they
I think
split with the Commies, beat the Colts, split with the Eagles.
that's
Yeah.
good. That's
So you
10.
go 3 and that's 10 and 7.
If we can split with the
Right.
Commies
That'll
and beat,
that'll
if we
get in
can
the
split
playoffs.
with the Commies and beat the Colts, that's 9. And I don't know if that beats. And I don't know if that's
The
better than the
Eagles
Seahawks.
game, there's no way Jalen Hurts starts that game.
Because the Commies would have an 8th win right there, and I'm assuming they're going to win 1 more.
We play you guys.
The Eagles have, or the
And then-
Seahawks have 6,
I will say,
but the Seahawks
with-
have the tiebreaker over us.
with the serial rapist on the Browns, our last 3 games are kind of tough. We play the Niners and then the Browns and then the
You still have
Cowboys.
the buys, dude.
Yeah. We only have fucking 5 games left.
We should have beat
Crazy.
the Lions. That Lions game just killed us.
I think we're obviously a more talented team than the Giants are. Like, no offense, Sal, but you know it.
But
I know it.
We're a more well coached team.
Yeah,
Well,
but
machine.
I wouldn't be surprised if we split. I wouldn't be surprised if
I think
we
think
beat
we're
you
gonna
both
split.
times. I'm not gonna lie.
But in history has shown Daniel Jones does own the Washington franchise.
Yeah, but Heineke's a winner. Like,
Those Dable.
Commanders are good, dude. The Commanders.
I mean, it's going to be a good game. Like, I don't think either team will get blown out. I think it's going to be a low-scoring, ugly game because that's like how both teams play.
Just like the gritty win that the Steelers called out on Monday Night Football.
the gritty. That's what we're calling it. The gritty.
Those are
Gritty
sitting
win
at
against
4-6.
against the Indianapolis Colts.
Can the Steelers make a comeback on their season?
Oh
They
yeah.
just need to
Speaking of the AFC North,
They just need to go 500 and
Who-
keep Tomlin's thing alive.
who is going to win the NFC North or AFC North?
The Ravens.
The
'Cause the
Ravens.
Ravens and Bengals are tied right now.
The Ravens
can't
have
seem
the
to hold the
talent. They just can't finish, but they will.
They can't seem to hold the lead.
They
Ravens
will.
And the Bengals are sneakily coming up on them.
They will.
They did it last year. They low key might do it again.
The Ravens are
And going
too
on
solid.
to the other New York football team,
Wait,
Mike
wait,
White.
who should start next week?
Mike White had a stat line of 22 for 28, 315 yards, and 3 touchdowns in a 31-10 win over the Chicago Bears.
Just shows what I
Who
was saying.
should be
how
the guy next week?
Zach Wilson is not the guy. If
I
you
don't
want,
think that's a question.
if you want to
Do you
win
want to
games
make
right
the
now, Zach
playoffs?
Wilson is not the guy. Which is what I
Do
said
you want
last
to make
week.
the playoffs? Because I know who should be the guy next week if you want to make the
It's
playoffs.
going to be Mike White again.
Mike White
It's
played
gonna be
good.
Mike White again.
First
This
Played great.
offense, like this team is ready to win. You need a quarterback
And
that's not necessarily ready to
Right.
win, but that will help. That will allow the team to play to its full potential.
and we're going against the 32nd rated passing defense in the NFL in the Vikings. If Mike White can go out there, do it again, we could beat a 9-1 or 9-2.
It is a tough spot
Minnesota
for him.
Vikings team, and we win, and we go to 8-4 in the season on the way to a playoff berth. I think you got to start Mike White the rest of the way. I don't see how you could put Zach Wilson in
I
there.
think.
And
I-
that's why I think it's bad that Saleh made the commitment to get Zach back on the field, because
I think if
now-
Mike White struggles for a game or two, then yeah, you can switch him back. But if he wins you games, or at least plays like
Yeah.
a quarterback that shows
It's
you
the
can
same-
win games,
It's the
you have
same
to-
scenario the commies are in
But
right
Mike
now.
White did this last year, didn't he? Didn't he like ball out?
by
his first
He
benching
did,
Zach
and
Wilson.
then the next couple weeks, I think he had like 4 interceptions.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I mean,
we'll
that's
see
when you
how
switch
he
back.
does.
But
See how he does against Minnesota.
the general rule of thumb is you cannot take a guy out who keeps winning.
Exactly. But the problem
If
is
you-
you have.
if you show-
it would be very early. I know he's had the season that he's had, but it would be very early to give up on a second overall pick. I mean, you spent
Yeah,
a second overall pick on this kid. You might as well see what you got. I don't know. I don't know how you would leave him out for the rest of the season. That's why I'm hoping.
We never fucking. Sorry, we never gave our conference championship predictions.
That's going on Instagram.
All right, that's Instagram only content.
Okay.
You got to follow.
Yeah. Now you have to follow
yeah.
the Instagram at Spitballz Pod.
So when you bench Zach Wilson, that basically saying your main goal is to make the playoffs, not to progress Zach. And if your main goal is to make the playoffs, there's no reason to bench a hot
There's no
quarterback.
reason to have that. Yeah. It just thinks that this is the we're just giving.
No,
up
we're not.
second overall pick.
No, he's going to start week 1 next year, probably.
Mike
Dude.
White brings us to playoffs, dude. I don't know
Unless
how
Mike
you
White
start
makes the
Zach
playoffs
Wilson.
and goes on some miraculous run. Zach
Imagine
Wilson's
Mike-
starting next
No.
year. Or if
Imagine
he
Mike
signs
White
someone.
wins a playoff game. What do you do then?
It's like a Taylor Heineke situation.
That's a
It's
very tough decision.
also a tough situation for Mike White. Say he goes out and like on the first drive throws a pick, second drive punt, third drive punt. Now like people are gonna say, throw in Zach, put Zach in. If it's really
Yeah,
that bad of a
I don't
start
think
for
I
Mike.
don't know.
that's
Zach
That's why
Wilson
it's-
averaged
that's why it's a tough
2.7
situation for
inches.
him.
I don't
play.
think a quarterback's thinking like that mid game. They're trying to play the best they can no matter what.
I know. Well, yeah, but obviously, that's
I
what
don't
the
think
coach
they're
might be
I don't
thinking. The coach wants to throw him back on the field at some point this season.
I don't know what Robert Saleh is thinking, honestly.
Well, he said that he wants to get Zach back on the field. So
Personally, I wouldn't.
what I'm saying is, at
I
what
wouldn't have
point-
sacrificed
at
my
what
young
point do
quarterback's
you put
progression
Zach back on
for
the
a win.
field? If his Jets career truly isn't over, at what point do you put him back on the field?
And Mike White,
That's
Next
what I
year.
thought.
either
I
when
think-
Mike White can't win or next year.
I'm all good.
I think Zach Wilson does not see the field again this season.
Do you think he starts with the Jets next season?
You think Joe
Yes.
Flacco gets on the field then if Mike White struggles?
No.
What a
They
quarterback.
already moved. They moved Joe Flacco down to QB3 already.
I think Mike White's your guy.
That's fucked up.
We'll see.
Mike White.
You can't just keep going back and forth between
Exactly,
quarterbacks.
exactly.
You have to
Right.
make a decision.
The Panthers
Right.
are doing it.
But the Panthers are not in the playoffs right now.
They're competing for a division.
Another thing,
That's a
Elijah
good point.
Moore looked good without Zach Wilson.
I know.
So did Garrett
And-
Wilson.
And Garrett
And,
Wilson
Garrett
finally.
Wilson did look good at Zach Wilson at times.
I
We
saw
saw
a
it.
stat
We
on
never saw
Twitter
Elijah Moore.
that only like 2 of Garrett Wilson and Elijah Moore's combined touchdowns in their career are from Zach Wilson. All the others are from different quarterbacks.
Dude, how did the Jets keep screwing
how
up
you want.
quarterbacks?
It's so I don't know, dude.
All right,
Okay.
should we
Get
stop the
rid of the
recording?
Yeah,
position.
yeah, we're gonna come back. All right. With the Green Bay Packers, do you bench Aaron Rodgers, let him get healthy for next year, and see you have in Jordan Love? Or
Dude,
if Aaron
Is
Rodgers,
Aaron Rodgers going to play next
Is Aaron
year?
Rodgers your starting quarterback next year?
I think if he's on the
Or do
team,
you let him
he's the
go?
starting- if he's on the team, he's the starting quarterback.
Obviously, if he's on the team,
Do you
What
no,
happened?
that's not my question. My question is, do you bench him and let him get healthy and see what you have, or do you continue to play him? Because he's going
what
through.
happened to him?
I actually didn't see the last one, but he said
He
he's
has
been
no
playing.
he has an oblique injury and his hand is broken.
Yeah, the oblique
thumb
was
is
that
broken.
happened, and he's had his
Why
thumb's
not
been
play
his
Love?
thumb's been hurt since the
Yeah,
Giants.
I mean you're not making the
They
playoffs.
fucking
I think
suck. They're not going to
But
make the
it-
playoffs.
If he says he can play through it, do you say no, or
Why would you want to play for it?
because
Yeah, if
you're
you're
Aaron
what are they?
Rodgers?
They're what 3-8?
the only reason I could see you wanting to put him in is to like
Because you don't want to
develop
you don't
the
want to
young
lose the
receivers.
job to Jordan Love. Like if you're Aaron Rodgers, I can see why you don't want to play.
Dude, he could get a job anywhere in the NFL.
Yeah.
Or
Like, if the Packers
he
stop
could
him,
retire with
He's not gonna
all the money in the world,
He'll retire when he's
take his LSD in the
he'll,
woods.
he'll retire when he's told he can't play anymore.
Take his LSD in the woods.
I think he definitely wants another Super Bowl.
So you would start.
Like, I don't.
You would start.
He's
He
gonna
won't
wild.
retire. He won't retire until there's no possible way that he
Dude,
can win.
if
Yeah,
I'm-
I don't think he's gonna retire unless
If
no team
I'm Matt
wants him.
LaFleur and I'm Aaron Rodgers' coach, and we're 3-8, and he's not completely healthy, why not start Jordan Love?
It was-
Yeah, yeah.
So
I mean, you're not making the
so
playoffs.
next year
not
they're
competing
both
for
on the
anything.
team. Who are you starting? Like, there's no way you can. Yeah, exactly.
If
There's
Aaron
no
Rodgers is
way.
on the team, you're starting Aaron Rodgers. But I don't know if he'd be on the. It depends.
I don't
how
know.
the offseason
I don't know
goes.
that he's going to be on. I don't know that he's going to be a Packer next year. I don't know that he's going to be in the NFL next year. And he's hurt.
That's a
right
very
now.
loaded question. That depends.
Why
on a
would
lot of-
you-
He's hurt, but like, if they were undefeated, he'd be playing through it.
Yeah, but they're
Yeah.
not.
But
So why
there's
not?
No chance they make the playoffs.
If they were
Realistic.
undefeated, you could play Jordan Love for 2 weeks.
Actually, yeah. Okay, if they were in the hunt, he could play through it. Same situation with Matt Stafford. Then would you shut him down?
Yeah.
I don't. Neither of them should be playing right now.
Okay, and then the last one. What about Justin Fields?
I see. He's different.
I-
He's not.
His
Well,
team,
I
his
think-
team's his team's
I
out of
think
contention. He is your future quarterback. Do you let him get healthy, or do you risk
I
more?
think you
worse
let
injury?
him get fully healthy, and then you can throw him
'Cause
right back in there.
Mooney's already gone for the year. Like, you're not going anywhere.
They're not going to win, but
But do you shut him down
when you
for
have
the
a
year?
quarterback that young and that like much raw talent, you want to get as many
Yeah,
reps as
many
even
NFL
playing through
games
injury?
as possible.
No. If he's not completely healthy, there's no point to that.
He's not 100%.
The only time you should be playing your quarterback who's not completely healthy is like if you're 7-5 and trying to make a playoff spot. Like if you are
It's hard.
undefeated
It's hard
and
for
gonna
these
make the
players.
playoffs,
It's hard for these players to
or-
say like
not going to make the playoffs. No.
to say like, yeah, I'll sit down, even though they are able to play.
I
It's hard
understand,
for them to do
but
that.
someone else has to make that decision for them because they're never going to make that decision.
I feel like Aaron Rodgers should be able to make that decision for himself, just because of
Aaron
his
Rodgers
status.
is an idiot. You know that, right? Like he is.
So
dumb.
are the Packers.
Aaron Rodgers.
He's an idiot millionaire.
He's gonna get himself drugged enough to not feel any pain.
All right, should we move on to our hot take?
Okay.
Yeah.
Spitball takes.
Yeah.
I'll go first. Currently today, my prediction in the AFC East, the Miami Dolphins win the East, and Mike McDaniel, or that's his name, right? Yeah, Mike McDaniel. I thought I just fucked that up. Wins Coach of the Year. What he's been able to do with improving Tua into a borderline top 10 quarterback, and how well liked he is by his players, how everyone like the Miami Dolphins with Brian Flores, like that was a dumpster fire. He's been able to come in, fix it. They're currently leading the East. I think they finish that out, and he wins Coach of the Year.
Dude, if the Giants make the playoffs, either Dable or Salah are winning Coach of the Year.
The thing is, I don't see Dable winning Coach of the Year if they get it. If they go 9
if
and
the Daniel
scrape by
Jones
and win
led
9
New York
games,
Giants make the playoffs, you don't see them winning Coach of the Year.
You can't
with zero weapons,
if
you cannot have the best roster in the league and win Coach of the Year.
Exactly.
he's not the best roster in the league.
Other
They
than
have
the
a very
quarterback
good roster.
position, he probably does.
I don't know. I think how different was it last year besides Tyreek Hill?
I can't see the Jets snapping
They
an
I'm
11-year
pretty sure they
playoff
made
drought and
upgrades on
Salah
defense. I
not
don't
winning
remember
Coach of the
them.
Year.
There's
He
a lot of
also
players in the NFL.
improved Tua a lot, and I personally
Tua sucks.
I don't see the Giants or Jets winning enough games that you can justify it because the Dolphins are going to have a much better record and
What about
win their
Nick
division.
Sirianni? What about Kevin
Nick
O'Connell?
Sirianni has just as much of an improvement in the offseason as.
Yeah, but he has a better
Yeah,
record.
the Eagles are like.
But the Eagles are also heavy favorites to win the East. The Dolphins were not.
The Eagles were not heavy.
They were definitely favorites.
Somewhat favorites.
The Dolphins
I
were
don't know.
probably projected to finish second by a lot.
Yeah.
Recording.
They're not going to win if they don't win the
Okay.
division. Or he's not going to win if they don't win the division. But my
No.
prediction is they win the division anyway.
Well, I don't think they're going to win the division. So
I
I'm
think
gonna
they
agree
go
with you on
one
that
of
one,
one of the
though.
New York guys. I think he goes to.
Yeah.
That's my prediction.
who's up next?
I mean, the Giants are going to finish third in the division or fourth. They still might make the playoffs, but like
Yeah, but their roster is like their offense is like terrible on base.
I know.
Yeah, it really is.
I love Brian Dable. Like this is just a hot take. I obviously want Dable to win.
That's why it's a hot take.
Do you think Rivera could win it? They started terribly, and they've won 6 out of the last 7.
But is it him?
Like, do they keep
Or
on that
is it
pace?
Heineke.
It's definitely not Heineke. I don't know what it is, but not
like,
Heineke.
It's just different. It's a different perspective because he's been there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I
like,
don't know.
I think he could have an argument.
He could definitely have an argument.
I still think Brian Robinson has an argument for comeback player of the year too.
I don't think you're going to come back player of the year in the same year you came back.
You came back from something.
Yeah, but like
I think you can.
it would be comeback player of half the year.
Whatever. He's not going to win comeback player of the year. I just think he has an argument to.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it. I'm saying he's not eligible.
Okay, who wants to go next?
Greg.
Frank.
Okay.
Just no one of
You got this.
I stole one from the kid next door. I was like, give me a hot take. And he did. So, and I liked it. So, his first one was that Ohio State's going to win the Natty because he has $50 on it. And I said no.
That's great.
But
I don't know.
the second one I liked, and it was Kansas State is going to beat TCU by 10+ on Saturday.
And they still make the playoffs.
I think Kansas State is
I don't know how much of
TCU
a
by 10+.
I don't know how much of
I
a
don't,
reach
I,
that
don't,
is.
I don't see it happening.
I came up with it I was given it on the spot
I
because
came
I
up with it on the
was
spot.
not prepared this week.
All right.
All right, Greg, you up.
All right, we're gonna think of one on the spot here, and it's the Devils will be a wild card team. They won't be a top 3.
I like it.
I like it.
I
Dude, I
like
thought
it.
we had something
Fuck
going
test.
here.
Fuck
I
I
like
thought we
it.
had
test.
something going here. We're both at the top of the. We're both at the
Wait,
top of the metro together.
Wait,
man.
wasn't that your
Together.
prediction last
No,
week?
I said that. I said the Devils and the Islanders would be in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Okay.
So yeah.
Devils are gonna get there from the wild card.
I
Would
like
be better,
it,
but
Greg.
adding on to that, I don't think the Rangers are going to the playoffs.
Just disrespecting
Rangers,
everyone
dude,
in the whole
they're on the outside
Everybody
looking in
is.
right now. They're on the outside looking in right now, dude.
They're out
They're
of the
playing
playoffs by like a point
terribly.
right now.
2 points.
Dude,
Dude, they
but
actually got
one loss, it becomes 2 points. Another loss, it's 4.
Dude, they're fine.
It
One
adds
win
up.
and they're in.
It adds
And
up.
this is also the
again.
worst hockey they're playing. Like they couldn't be playing worse right now.
Yeah, they're gonna get better.
They could go on a 10-game losing streak like the Flyers.
I mean, you traded the only identity guy you have.
It clearly wasn't working. I mean, Truba's a pretty good identity guy. There's some big hits.
I miss Revo. He's still my.
They have no one to release him anymore.
Even after the Tampa Bay Lightning. Great.
I do think that Igor will step it up. I know he's not having the best.
Igor's gonna play better.
I think.
season. I think he'll. I
Everyone's
think
gonna
he'll
start
begin to
playing
play
better.
better.
They'll be fine. They're gonna make the playoffs. If they don't make the playoffs, they'll be very surprised.
I think they'll be okay. Tess.
All right, my hot take is after making it to the Super Bowl last season, I believe that the Bengals will miss the playoffs this year.
I thought you were about to say the
And
Rams.
I think
and I was like,
the Patriots will get in. We look at the Bengals' remaining schedule. They got the Chiefs, obviously Mahomes. They got the Browns with Deshaun. They play the Bucks, who are always tough. We look at
the
the
Bengals still
Patriots,
could win the
they're a good
division.
team. Ravens, obviously, that's going to be, and the Bills. I
So you
think
think the Jets can
they
hit over them
definitely
too?
have one of the tougher.
You think the Jets pass
Final
them?
six.
All right,
Yeah.
so let me ask you.
And I
who's
think the
your
Jets.
wild
I
card
think the
teams?
Jets get in over them.
So you
You
think it's
think
going to
all
be?
3 AFC East teams make it too, or all
I believe.
4 AFC
I
East
believe
teams?
all 4 AFC teams will make it. Jets, Patriots, and
Obviously, the Dolphins and Bills are gonna make it.
Dolphins and Bills make it, and I believe the Bengals are out. And I think the Chargers have a real good chance of getting in because the Chargers are a good team.
So who gets out?
And they're due. They're due to.
Wait, then
make
yeah,
it,
who gets out?
Like, who gets knocked out?
Yeah, who are your 3 wild card teams? The AFC.
The Jets, the Patriots, the Chargers.
So no
Where are
Dolphins.
the
or Bills.
Dolphins?
Okay, wait. Yeah, all right. It will be the Bills, the Jets, Patriots. I got that mixed up.
Do you think the Dolphins win the division?
I think Dolphins win the division and all AFC teams take the loss. Greg is having a party in his room right now.
There are a lot of people in
That's our new Spitballz chief of marketing. Who is it?
I think the Bills make it. I think it's between the Jets, Patriots, and Chargers to the last spot.
I think the Steelers get the 17.
And that should have been your hot take, dude. That would have been electric.
Last year.
Dude, the Bengals could legitimately only win one of their last 6.
The Bengals are a good team.
Maybe
like they're
2.
hot.
Yeah, like they're gonna beat
Yeah,
good
but
teams.
They're not like I don't see
I
them
also
being like
They
I
should
don't think
They should
Deshaun
be.
is gonna play very well.
They should beat the Browns
the
and the
Browns.
Bucks. They could
I don't
probably
think the
beat the
Browns are gonna-
Patriots.
Do any better with Watson?
they
than
could
will
lose
with
the
Brissett.
Browns. Dude, we don't know how good Watson is. Like he could come back and
Yeah.
just ball
And what
out.
if Deshaun Watson?
But like someone's gonna snap his neck in the 3rd week he's playing.
Yeah,
at the
I
latest.
honestly don't think
Like he's
plays
not
a
gonna
full
finish the season.
All right, well, luckily they're playing in the 2nd week.
I also don't think he starts next
If
season.
they get to 2023, then Chase Young will snap his neck. Do us all a favor.
2023.
Actually, when would it be? It would either be
Like next season or next year?
no, like next calendar year, like week 17, when the Commies play the Browns. That was what I was saying.
But Chase Young's like washed.
Chase Young hasn't played a snap in over a year.
Exactly. He's gonna be washed. How is that any different than
No.
Deshaun Watson?
He's gonna be incredible. Okay, I think we're
All right.
done.
Well, that was the fourth episode of the new season.
Yeah.
See you guys next time.